Who is already excited and joining us in the studio, wearing his batakali. Sixtus is a new month. How are you, my brother?
Couldn't be better.
Yeah.
Couldn't be better.
Why have you gotten medicine?
Hey, what?
Medicine.
Hey, what?
Oh, it's good to see you. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, my brother. How was the weekend?
It was a sweet weekend. The Lord is good.
Where did you spend the weekend?
I spent it in my house.
Ashoman Estate?
Yes, Ashoman Estate.
Oh, not
constituency.
Okay.
I didn't go to a.
You didn't go to Plaza. You didn't go to Ablekuma.
I went to a Ishashi.
Ishashi is a new location. Your guy has a new location.
You're looking good, Sixtus.
Thank you, my brother. It's Ghana month.
Yes,
you see, it's the 1 month in the entire year that Ghanaians become conscious of who they are. What they are,
all the other months,
what they should.
We forget who we are.
Sadly,
we're not conscious of it.
We are not. I think that we should begin to extend or expand the gains of Ghana month to cover the other months.
I see.
Like when the Friday Way project was started,
President Kufuor.
Under President Kufuor,
right?
Under the Honorable Alan Chematin as special initiatives minister at the time.
Right.
You see, the expectation was that the gains would have been
sustained, if you like.
We've done well sustaining what we did, what we started, but beyond the Friday, we don't find people, showing interest in the Ghana wear,
weekdays.
Right. You prefer to be in your suit and tie the weekdays and Friday. It's more like it's become a casual day for us because of Ghana wear. You see, but it's Friday. And productivity too has become like, but it's Friday.
Yes, wear some shirts.
But that should not be the case.
At all.
Speaker Bagbin also initiated something.
Yes. He
said
did.
that the ceremonial dresses will be used only ceremonially. So he doesn't use the speaker's robes. He started dressing to represent the various traditions and cultures and ethnic groups that we have within the country. I think that there are a lot more ways that we can do this, sustain this. And I am praying and hoping for the day that the judiciary will go the same way, that we will see. It's all right to wear smock to court. It's all right to wear a neatly, knitted long sleeve shirt to court.
It's to drop that wig. The man wants to tell the people that they should drop the wig.
I beg you. I'm just saying that there are good lessons from here that we can learn. There are good lessons from. There's nothing wrong with the Chief Justice and Justices of the Supreme Court and Court of Appeal, for instance, appearing at public ceremonies in the beautiful red gown. No, there's nothing wrong with it. And the wigs that we so adore. There's nothing wrong with it. But on a normal, ordinary day, the day-to-day sitting, yes, I gladly would advocate that we have, it's okay, wear a beautifully sewn material shirt or kabayan slit to court, appear very neat, very beautiful, very handsome, with the law in your hands. That is what matters.
Right.
I would join such a campaign. That if we begin to do that, it's one of the ways that we begin to make ourselves conscious of who we are.
True.
And then build on that identity, that self-knowledge. Then look at
nationalism, and all of that. They all come from that. We understand. A lot has been happening over the weekend, Sixtus.
Really? I thought it was just a weekend of rest.
Oh, you think so? Have you built the Hajj village already?
There are many more days to build villages.
Hajj village controversy. They say you don't like National Cathedral, but you are building Hajj village. And they say that it's not taxpayers' money. It is by the Ghana Airport Company Limited, which functions also on the taxes of people are not in the Ghana Airport Company Limited.
Let me attempt to draw a distinction.
If it is successful, we'll see how that goes.
Okay. The conversations about a Hajj village didn't start today.
Not at all, yes.
Okay. We've always had those conversations, and that is because we've always had, in my practice as a journalist, and also coming from an area where we have Muslims, we have seen people travel from northern region, upper west, upper east, from all across the country into Accra to fly out. They get to Accra, they are stranded because they have no places to sleep. Probably the flight is in 2 days' time. The person cannot land in Accra or arrive in Accra that day of the flight. The person definitely would have to come a day or two earlier. So there were a lot of inconveniences and a lot of, if you like, issues that did not enable a smooth pilgrimage.
Right.
So you would have people who got stranded in Accra. People who got to Accra had nowhere to sleep, had nowhere to find food. They were just in the open.
Yeah.
You had people who got to Accra, fell sick, didn't know what to do with themselves, where the nearest hospital was. You had people who got to Accra and basically did not even know how to get to the airport from the lorry station.
True.
So the conversations about Hajj village started taking shape. That look, we need a place that we can house our people. When they travel down to Accra, then we can put them in one centralized location closest to the airport, so that within that village you have a medical facility.
True.
You would have feeding facilities.
So it's a proper community.
It's a proper community.
That's true, right.
The people get here, they are not stranded. Another leg to that conversation was the construction of international airports. That rather than have a centralized, that everybody has to fly out from Accra, why can't we have some of our pilgrims flying out of Tamale, for instance, flying out of Kumasi, for instance? So, yes, I agree. If we say we don't want a national cathedral, we shouldn't be having conversations about what Hajj village. But I also insist that the two are not the same. They serve completely and totally different purposes.
Do you agree that taxpayers' money is not involved in the construction of this Hajj village?
About this question, am I in the...
No. You've listened
not. No. Should not.
It's not.
No. I cannot
Government
tell.
spokesperson... No, but you know how the Ghana Airport Company functions. It is a property of the taxpayer. So although not directly, there may be or there will be, the taxpayer interest there. The taxpayer has, how do you call it? Has interest there, let me put it like that.
In the company, you mean?
Yes, in the company. And that's the same company that is, if you like, funding the Hajj village. But they're trying to draw a distinction that the taxpayer is not using, government is not using the taxpayer's money to build the Hajj village. Does it sit well with you?
Government should not use taxpayers' money to build a Hajj village. But
is it?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I am not. I have no access to the books.
But I've told you.
No. You have told me what the ideal. Unless you are saying that monies, allocated to the Ghana Airport Company is what has been diverted into the construction of a Hajj village, which you don't have evidence. I don't have evidence. So my point is, we all can agree that government or taxpayers' money should not be used.
Okay.
But is it being used? We don't know until we begin fishing and we eventually fish out something. But as we speak right now, we cannot tell whether government is using taxpayers' money, whether some money that has been allocated to Ghana Airport Company is money that has been diverted into the construction of a Hajj village. We can't tell until we see what the books are saying. Until we see. So there was another approach that the National Cathedral people used. going round. I think they had these campaigns internationally to try to raise funding.
They had some, and they also had short codes
that people could donate through. All those are fundraising mechanisms or modes that could be resorted to. And I would encourage that project should not rely on our taxes. It should not.
So they should also do donations for the Hajj village.
Yes. Yes. Right. Because they are good intentioned people who would gladly donate to this. There are people in this country who builds the mosque. It's not government who builds the mosque.
Who started
it's not government who builds the churches. It's not government who builds the Holy Spirit Cathedral was not built by government. The Christ the King Catholic Church just over here was not built by government.
The National Cathedral.
The Anglican, that's, I beg you. So there is the possibility that we can do this. We can, even if it's a national cathedral we can run that project without necessarily burdening the taxpayer. Are we not already burdening?
Talk about the National Cathedral, Sixtus. Bright Simmons is saying that the cost of completing the National Cathedral project, it has risen to say $1.2 billion.
Are we still completing it?
If we want to complete now, we have to spend $1.2 billion.
Are we still thinking about completing it?
Yeah, right. I've spent $400 million. It as well. Let's get into the papers this morning, starting with the Daily Democrat newspaper. The front page, Akufo-Addo's bodyguards, forestry officer accused of galamsey. Hey.
Say that again.
Akufo-Addo's bodyguards, forestry officer accused of galamsey. I know whether do you see Akufo-Addo's bodyguard here?
Which one is the head?
So there's Akufo-Addo, there's Amabwa, and there are two people in between.
So one must be the forestry commission person,
or maybe the two are forestry officers. So the Daily Democrat is only 4 cities. Go and buy some and read it. Also on the front page of the paper, Ghana at 68, ups and downs and the journey so far. Charlie, we chopped 68 years. Sports Minister endorses esports growth in Ghana and Ghana's nuclear energy future, a reliable power source for development. I'll take you to the Today newspaper. Thank you, Mr. President, for free tertiary education. Federation of Disabilities saying that's on page 3 of the paper. Swedro All Blacks retract and apologizes to Indum. Also on page 3 for accusing him of inciting Elimina Shark supporters against the referee. Muntaka bans use of chieftaincy crest as number plate. So page 2 of the Today newspaper is saying. So this is what you have.
The Custodian newspaper, fearless, fair, and reliable, also for Ghana cities, since you started it. Banner headline, minority boycotts MPs retreat to stop NDC's wasteful spending.
Gosh. Is what paper again?
The Custodian.
Do you know the editor?
Yes.
He's your friend.
Yes, he's my friend.
Okay, you went to GIU together?
Oh, no. This man is an old man.
Sorry. But you are not a young man. You continue.
Well, I'm not an old man either.
Continue. The headline is interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But all these years, they have always gone for retreats, right? Okay. And when the minority was majority, they were taking budget retreats and State of the Nation retreats and workshops and outside of Accra, right?
Yes.
The E-Levy retreats were not in Accra, right? They were not in Parliament House. I'm just asking.
Continue, Sixtus.
So the E-Levy, even the regional stakeholder engagements they held, they were not at their residencies, right?
Is that one also in the paper?
I'm just asking.
You are doing the stories of the... Read the story of the paper.
Okay, let me read. The story is on page 3. No, I'm not. I'm just asking.
You are doing headlines. Finish headlines.
So I should do the headlines.
Sisters, do headlines.
But Crosby, why are you heckling me?
I'm not heckling you. Do headlines. You like that.
Did we meet somewhere?
I saw you somewhere. Continue that.
I was not sabotaging you anyway. Where you saw me.
with the
why do you like doing this to me? Why do you always...
You continue the consider. I won't talk again.
So why you kill the mic?
It's okay, talk. Yeah, okay.
I think I need to speak to the head of technical. There should be a way I can stop you from killing the mic. So should I read a story for you?
But before you go on, a message from Niron. It says, well, the establishment of the Ghana Airport Company is funded by taxpayers' money. The revenue it produces does not belong to the taxpayers. Okay.
What does it belong to?
The revenue. It belongs.
Niron, please explain. I'm unable to understand.
If it does not belong to the taxpayer,
I'm unable to follow. So please explain what you mean. Okay, so the New Patriotic Party minority in Parliament has boycotted a 3-day orientation program for members of the 9th Parliament at the plush Volta Serene Hotel in Ho, citing serious concerns of wasteful expenditure. Chief Whip Frank Annan announced on the floor of Parliament on Friday that cost-cutting measures should be considered for venues for parliamentary training in line with President John Dramani Maham's policy on such events. According to him, the minority cannot be part of any profligate expenditure in economy that President Mahama has described as crisis-stricken. He suggested that the orientation should be done in the chamber to reduce costs rather than traveling to Ho in the Volta region and staying there for 3 days with its associated cost implications. This story has been written before with the same parliament. I think it was the 8th Parliament, was it? Yeah, either the 8th Parliament or the 7th Parliament. This story has been written before. It's just a change of sitting arrangements.
In 2017, Sixtus, there's a story on modernghana.com. MPs want to ditch GIMPA, push for luxury resorts for orientation sessions. Members of Parliament are pushing for a relocation.
2017?
Yes, 2017.
This was just when Akufo-Addo 1 had taken place.
Yes.
Okay. And MPP were majority.
Yes, they had majority. Members of Parliament are pushing for
clear
relocation.
Majority at the time, right? No, I want to.
Yes, they had a...
Because it was second term that we had what people are describing as
a clear majority.
So Akufo-Addo 1, they had a clear majority. Okay, I'll now read.
Members of Parliament are pushing for a relocation of the orientation workshop from the usual premises of the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration to a more serene environment. At the start of every new Parliament, you know that orientation programs are held for members to train them on the rules of the House. Now, NPP MP for Nsomadojiri, Frank Annan has requested that this year's session be moved to a more serene location outside Accra. His request was greeted by a unanimous agreement by the members of Parliament. Quote, we are not aware if there is any particular reason for the choice of GIMPA. I recall almost 4 years ago, the orientation was held at the same location. I would have thought that after the pressures of elections, we would move to a much serene atmosphere. Coming from that motivation, I would make some propositions like, listen, Aqua Safari, say A, Senchi, and it wouldn't be a bad idea to even consider, guess what?
Volta Serene.
Dubai. Mr. Annan said.
So this was 2017.
Yeah.
Let me give you a quote from 2025.
The man said they should go.
The story is by Paul Awuni. I'm not the one who wrote it. It's Paul Awuni, page 3 of the Custodian
they should
newspaper.
go to Dubai. Wow.
Dubai. Okay. Here's a quote. Let me give you a series of quotes from this story.
Right.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, besides the point, we have also said, and it is important our colleagues stay consistent with their earlier argument. We all want to reduce costs.
Right.
And so the last time the argument was strongly made that let's reduce costs and having the engagement here in the chamber, what has changed? You are already saying and making the argument that the economy is not strong. So, Mr. Speaker, simply put, we want to reduce costs, he emphasized. Another quote, assuming without admitting that our colleagues from the majority side are not taking a cue from what His Excellency the President had given. Even this year's celebration of the Independence Day is being done at Jubilee House for a very good reason, to reduce costs. You are here, you want to increase costs. Mr. Speaker, they need to take a cue from His Excellency the President. For the reason of reducing costs, we are not going to hope. We want to have the retreat here in the chamber. And that is the decision of the minority. Yeah. He wanted to go where? Dubai? 2016? 2017. The economy must have been robust. The economy must have been robust at the time.
If possible, Dubai.
So the NPP had just come in.
Yeah.
They formed government.
From the 2016 elections.
Yes, they formed a government. And they had a majority in parliament.
They did.
Clear majority.
Yeah.
And they wanted to have orientation.
They said it wouldn't be a bad idea to even consider Dubai. So in 2017, the minority side of parliament, they were critical of the suggestions, with MP for Keta, his name is Richard Kwashiga. He questioned how he questioned how the 275 MPs would be sponsored to Dubai for the session at the expense of the taxpayer. It is really interesting and amazing, he said, on the floor of Parliament. But the majority members defended their colleague, with Tafu MP Dr. Anthony Akoto Osei reporting